Hey guys, this is a very important episode today about episodes of psychosis, schizophrenia, overcoming them. Um, I don't have an answer to people that suffer from schizophrenia every day. I don't still suffer from schizophrenia every day. Um, I still have the chance of having episodes of psychosis again, but the episode I had was diagnosed as an acute episode of psychosis. I suffered from being drugged, laced with PCP, I believe, um, and so there's some important aspects. If you are suffering or someone you know is suffering from what you believe is a psychosis or something that's not normal, um, it's a very delicate situation. Make sure that you come from an angle of care, but not unauthentic, and um, because when you're suffering from an episode, you can sort of interpret things very differently. It may be very difficult, but you have to cater towards helping that person and try to be as detached from your own desires as possible. Because if you start demanding things from that person, it's going to be very difficult for them to handle it. Um, and just try to be an aid to help them to seek help because uh, these episodes can last from a week, several days to 3 months, and in my case, because it was a drug-induced episode, it did last over a little bit over 3 months. Um, and really, nobody should suffer that long. It's a very it's difficult because a lot of people don't know the signs of an episode like that. But if they, if they say things about, they feel like they're being haunted, or they feel like um, things aren't real, or you know, um, if things just don't seem right, try to ask some questions and see if you can help that person, because they're really kind of suffering from like a control of the subconscious mind. My mind was telling me I shouldn't seek help, and I was on some sort of mission to do something, and all kinds of ridiculous things, of ideas of being a time traveler, and science fiction things. Honestly, almost concepts that I've seen from movies and things like that. That people were after my like in a way delusional at times. But one of the most important things here, if you're the person suffering, you have to understand that you are not exactly your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will tell you all kinds of things, but you are in control of your subconscious mind, and you need to be able to address your subconscious mind. Now, you might not be able to do this at the moment. If you're suffering from a psychosis, you need to find some help in a way. Um, Whoever it is that you feel comfortable, I'd like to drop some links below in the video for anybody that can find some help. That would be really great, because I want you to find that light at the end of the tunnel, like this beautiful environment that I'm at right now in the background. At that time I was suffering, I did not even think that I was going to make it to this point in time, what you see behind me. So uh, there is light. You have to do what's difficult now, and try to get some help. It's a really difficult decision to make. It doesn't really, you know, we get into this state of feeling comfortable in a way, and when you're in a psychosis, you are looking kind of to find some comfort in the near term, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable for you to do something like that and seek help, but in the long run, that's going to help you a lot. So, what other stuff I want to get to? It's just an internal battle is just very hard to win whenever this is a very extreme situation of subconscious mind. All kinds of different stuff is just hitting you on a daily basis that it's just very uncontrollable. So I feel for you and what you're going through, or that person that you care about that might have gone through this. Um, but once you feel like you're getting over an episode like this, or you're maybe even still, I guess, suffering in a little bit of way, the best way to start moving forward is to sort of look at whatever your passion was before the event started. What was the things that made your life feel fulfilled? For me, I was running a landscaping company with my brother, and there was a lot of clients that I was working with, who I really cared about, and so I wasn't able to go back to that immediately, being able to do a service for people that I really enjoyed. But what I did find is some other ways to look for my passions and my purpose, and I developed some values. I basically started taking some notes on a book that I read called Think Like a Monk, and monks are basically very in touch with controlling their subconscious mind, and in a way they can just sit there for hours and be at peace. So monks kind of just deal with their subconscious mind for so long that they basically hack it. They just basically hack their minds in a way. I'll elaborate on this. So if you just distract your mind for so long, if you do what I did initially after my psychosis, I got into video games, which was a good distraction. I needed a distraction at the time, but it also didn't help me overcome what was going on in my subconscious mind. I was dealing with a lot of thoughts about why could people do this to me? This victimization. My life's out. I'm not really in control of my life in a way. I felt very out of control in a way. This was the near term after my psychosis, and I read that book, Think Like a Monk, and it just really was a period of enlightenment for me, where I developed stronger values. I reassessed my skills that I had acquired, and eventually this book and this thirst for knowledge led me into another passion that I talk about in my other episodes, which was investing. And this investing gave me this idea of the possibilities of where I can take myself, how I can grow the money that I have, and make my money sort of work for me in a way. But really, there also was a lot of psychology behind investing that really was interesting for me. All these different perspectives and perceptions that people had. It could be very, very important for you to seek some different perceptions and perspective on developing your passions and things like that. That's going to be so pivotal at this time, where you sort of let your subconscious mind take control in a way. So now is really the time to help that person, or if you're that person, to look at your values and your skills, and then look at their limiting beliefs. Mine specifically was I became paraplegic, and I felt like, oh, I can't do anything. And then the more stuff I did, I realized I can do a lot of things still. And And so you have to just sort of develop this new perception of the world. But don't forget the path that got you there, all the things that you were doing, the things that you're passionate about. And maybe you just need to also revisit those in a way. If you can, that would be so tremendous for you to revisit those things, because they can seem so distant whenever you're suffering in this way. And until you really get over that episode completely, all these aspects may not exactly be achievable. So that is why there's such an important thing to get some help to help calm the subconscious mind. Because when you're in an episode of psychosis, you could do that thing that you're passionate about. You could, for me, I could have gone to the soccer field. I could have shot the soccer ball or I could have shot hoops, which I love to do. But as soon as that was done, the subconscious mind is just kind of in control again. So you just really need to find a way to get help, and be honest with people, because there's so many years left in your life to live in the moment, to follow passions, and to follow, to spend time with your family, to spend time with the people that you love and value. So it really stinks, but you have to do what's really hard, which is seeking help and talking to people. It's not easy, but if you're like me and you thought that, yeah, I can handle this situation, I'm a man, I'm going to do it, this isn't a normal battle that any man really has on a regular basis. This is something a little bit more. This is what I felt was a very strange phenomenon, and no matter how depressed I've ever been in my life, it is nothing compared to a psychosis. That is completely different from depression. It may be something that results from a depression in a way, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. And so what I'm just giving you is my best information possible, because I did suffer for 3 months. I did also, in fact, have a episode years after my maybe not years, maybe a year after my original psychosis, and I did suffer from problems after my psychosis. I was taking some medication to help calm that, but really what really transformed my life, the medication helped, but really transformed my life was seeking that new perception of the world, which was really the most important thing for me as I conquered this, a new strong belief. And it's really up to you to do that in a way, but if you're trying to help somebody else, you can find the right way to help them find that new perception. Maybe it's just a book, maybe it's a podcast. You can help give that person the tools, and really, therapists do help, but it's also really up to you to make that change. And some of the therapists that I've seen, the best ones were the ones that just really listened, and they did basically the same thing I'm doing right now, which is also just try to provide you with some insight. And even one gave me a TED talk, really, that I watched, and so she wasn't really the one that did anything immaculate for me. She just passed on some material for me, or something to hear that to help me. So if you can pass on some information, if you can pass this video on to someone that needs it, that's going to really be the best for them as they start to rebuild their perception of the world. And yeah, find that direction, take those values with you, those doubts that you have, rewire those into positive beliefs that you can overcome things, and you never know where the world's going to take you, or where you're going to, what you're going to take on in the world. So that's really it. If you suffered from an episode, please comment anything that you want to talk about. I'm here to listen to anything. Please like the video, subscribe, share this to someone that needs it, and yeah, just be strong. Seek help if you need to. And there's a lot of fundamental things in this episode that can help someone that even isn't suffering from a psychosis. Make sure that you get a hold of your subconscious mind and stop distracting yourself completely. You don't have to meditate for hours a day, but find some time to sit in the sun and have a clear mind and think about, and whenever you have things that pop into your mind, address those things. If there's stuff that happened in the past that's irrelevant, tell your mind it's irrelevant. This is irrelevant. This isn't going to do anything for me. I'm reflecting on what I'm doing today. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and try to stay as present as possible. There's all these things that make you feel like you're a victim, and all of a sudden you find a way to reason with all of these things. As soon as you find a solution and a reason for why these things happened, and you address them and understand all of these little things that created that event, you're creating a strong understanding of what's going on in your subconscious, and a strong understanding of all these little specific events. And once you address them, all of a sudden you find a lot more peace whenever you're either going to sleep at night or whenever you're going to meditate. So that's another great thing too. Spend some time sitting in the sun, look up, close your eyes, and just think about and listen to all these things going on around you, and just see what pops into your mind. And if it isn't good things that pop into your mind, take control. You're the one in control. All right, I'll have some links for people that want to find more information on who they can call if you're suffering from these things. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time, guys.